Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. We've got some Memorial Trip Talks, Fantasy Disc Golf, monthly subscription with Hand-Eye. What is that? All after the intro. Hey, everybody, this is Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Dude, slow it down, man. Yeah. Cool Daddy.
Your name gets longer.
Yeah, that's right.
Every week.
It is 24 degrees in Emporia, Kansas. This morning we woke up to some sleet coming down. That was fun.
I actually drove through it last night.
Oh, yeah, because you went to the Kansas OU game?
Yes.
How did that go?
It went amazingly.
Kansas just barely won.
I know. No, I heard they. What was the score?
They shredded them.
They won by 30.
Oh my gosh.
They put up 107 on
To
them.
my Oklahoma Sooners, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry about you, Trey Young.
Who?
He's had a rough go for the last few games.
Dude, they're on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah.
And they were number 4 in the country.
Yeah, now they're unranked.
Now they're like on the bubble.
Yep. And he's shot like 19% over those games.
Yes.
That is not what you want.
No.
So talking sports over here, of course, is Eric Jayhawk McCabe.
Yes.
Super proud of his Jayhawk.
I am.
Robert USA McCall. USA. Is tonight? Tonight's the last night of the Olympics?
No, I think there's a few more days.
It's like 4 more days.
Yeah, 4 or 5, something like that.
Oh, I thought I read something. Maybe it was the final for a certain
Probably.
event.
Yeah.
I tell you
We're
what.
behind in the medal count, though. So I wore this, so that all the Olympic athletes that watch and listen to the show,
Behind who?
they would know that we're supporting them.
Who are we behind on the medals?
But a lot of people.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there is not a chance we'll catch the medal race. Norway has 28 or 29.
Unless there's a lot of like doping going on.
Dude, did you hear about the curler
Already?
Yes.
There was a curler doping?
Yeah, but he claims that a teammate of his drugged his drink so it would disqualify him. That's what he claims.
A teammate.
A teammate. Yeah. And it was a Russian guy. They've had their complications with this Olympics, so that kind of just fits right in line with all that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's weird.
That's crazy.
Speaking of curling,
so I'm gonna drug your drink, and then when they drug test after, like Monkey Island, if you win and I get second.
Okay, that's true.
Speaking of curling, I actually watched a YouTube video that explained all the scoring and stuff.
Yeah.
And actually thought it was interesting after that watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Curling is great, dude.
I enjoy watching curling.
It's super fun.
I haven't met somebody who hasn't enjoyed watching curling.
A lot of people say they feel like it's nonsense, though. It doesn't make any sense.
But you just that means they don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, it's
anyway, I enjoyed it. Good stuff.
It's great.
Hopefully, you're able to watch some of the Olympics because it's good stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real quick, we'll talk about next week. I'm going to take my equipment so that we can record Disc Golf Answerman while we're in Arizona because we're leaving late Saturday night to arrive sometime middle Sunday in Arizona for the Memorial. So
we'll bring this table.
We're going to bring the table, all the microphones. No, I'm going to try to bring the mixer, of course, the field recorder and some microphones so we can record because we're going to be staying in a house. So we should be able to record some stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have maybe some team players come in and record and have some fun with them. But Eric is going to be playing his first tournament as Masters.
yes, or what is it now called now?
MP40.
MP40.
Yeah.
And so
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I have not practiced at all, so it's going to be quite the challenge.
You didn't want to go practice today, though.
No,
I mean, come on.
I thought about it, but
it's perfect Arizona weather. I mean, about an inch of ice and stuff. So.
I am the second highest rated player in the MP40s this weekend behind Patrick Brown.
So do you feel pressure to do well? I mean, I know you always want to do well, but
of course.
Is there more pressure now that you're moving to a different division and stuff?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess you have to ask me that next week when it's time and I'm playing or whatever. But I found out that we are playing Vista del Camino 3 times, assuming I make the cut.
Okay.
We play it 3 times and Fountain once, which plays great to my game.
Okay.
I tend to play better at Vista than I do Fountain, so I think that's going to be beneficial for me. I'm just looking forward to going out and playing with a whole new group of guys, as opposed to same guys week in, week out, and just kind of experiencing what it's like to play with the old dudes, to be the young kid on tour again. That's going to be awesome.
That's pretty cool.
You won't catch so many other references because they're like, you're way younger than me.
Yeah, they're going to look at me like, God.
Come on, man. You probably don't even remember CDs. That's what they'll say.
or 8-tracks.
8-tracks, yeah. Just roll it back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously, we're all wishing you the best of luck in your first event as Masters. Yeah. And then Robert McCall is going down there to help out or motivate and connect with our players.
A bunch of people ask me what I do when I go to tournaments like this, and I wish that I'd recorded the answer you just gave, because I think that really sells it.
That sell it.
Motivate
and connect with our players.
That honestly, the reason that I go for the most part is just so that our players know like we are standing behind them, right? That we have people who are dedicated to supporting them while they're doing what they do for their livelihood.
Yeah.
And so it's super fun to get to do it. I'll caddy for whomever for several holes at a time, and some people for a full round, some people for a hole or two. It just kind of depends. We've got a lot more players out there this year than we did last year, so it's going to be slightly more difficult to navigate.
That's going to be fun as I try to make sure I try to get pictures of everybody and video and stuff.
But people don't get upset if you just take pictures of a few people.
Not at all. Whatever.
Wait, no, they do.
I actually had to post on my Instagram a couple years ago saying, if I don't take pictures of you, do not be offended. Yeah. I'm actually on an assignment.
I do not like you.
Yeah, right. No.
And...
So anyway, we're going to go out there, have a good time. Make sure if you see Eric out there, shake his hand, wish him good luck. If you see Robert out there, shake his hand and ask if you can be on the team.
Yes, absolutely.
You have no idea how realistic what he just said is.
Send him lots of messages because we don't want him to have time to practice when he's out there on the courses. Hashtag 1,000 rated, no mo.
No mo.
No mo. Anyway, so let's get on to the questions. What do you say?
All right.
Let's.
Remember, guys, as always, go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf question. I want to say real quick, we all appreciate your patience. We have a lot of questions out there.
How many?
How many?
42.
We have
1,000.
At least 20 in SpeakPipe.
Wow.
And then in the forms, we have the Google form. Anybody want to take a guess? Whoa.
87.
Oh, man, I was going to say less. 58.
99.
Oh, I suck at this.
99 questions and ain't one. So,
okay.
Hey,
Interesting.
I have to change the rating on this particular episode.
That's right.
No, okay, let's see.
The views and opinions expressed.
We're going to go with John here on SpeakPipe. See what John has to say.
Hey guys, John from Colorado with hopefully my last question. This is really a question more for Mr. Jeremy Rusko if I happen to hit the lottery and have him in the studio during this recording. I just finished the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, obviously the founder of Nike. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I was reading it, I kept kind of coming back to things that I consider to be a comparison to possibly what DD has gone through. For instance, their battles with Adidas for market share, considering it's the more established older brand in comparison to Innova. The battles on getting sponsored players, early, struggles that they might have gone through, even down to the fact that Phil Knight sold Sharks, which is now Adidas, before he came out with Nike. And it's just kind of keep going back to how I felt about maybe something DD was going through. Jeremy, my question would be, what are some of the early battles that you'd be willing to share with people that DD went through at the very beginning or even is going through now? Obviously, I'm not asking for your inner secrets or anything like that. Just curious if there was anything that you guys have gone through that you'd be willing to share. Thank you.
That's funny because Clint, Ninja, or Kool-Aid as he likes to be called. He doesn't like the nickname.
Really?
Ninja. He
probably wants Grape Crush or something.
He likes Kool-Aid. Yeah. That's his nickname. He when he first started coming around, he would call Jeremy Phil because of
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was his nickname for him.
I mean, you've been around since the beginning. You have a story that you can think of?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, everything that he just mentioned is very similar. I mean, on a whole different scale, obviously.
Sure.
But, that would have to be something for Jeremy to answer. I wouldn't even want to try to touch that question, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. Maybe at the next monthly update, Bobby, we can get Russ.
Actually, I'm texting him right now.
So maybe he'll text.
Because I had another question. I had another question that I wanted to ask him about if we could mention it
Well, let's skip over it for a minute then.
Yeah.
And we can, if he answers, well, then we can come back to it.
And if he doesn't,
then we will never come back to it.
All right, so let's we'll come back to that question here in a second. I'm trying to get him to come down here. So here, this next one is from Matt.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Men. This is Matt from Memphis. So I have a question for you. I just ran my first ever PDGA sanctioned event this February here in Memphis. It was a C-tier event. We went through DD and did the tournament sponsorship and whatnot and got our player packs through you guys. Everyone loved them, so props to you guys. All the discs were great. My question is, so this being my first event TDing, it went off pretty smooth. I had some good help, and we sold out the entire field, so 90 players, and we actually had some there day of hoping to get a spot that ended up just caddying or watching. My question is, moving forward to next year, our local club's looking to run the tournament again. Would you suggest, since this event was so popular and everyone had a good time this year, to maybe move up to B tier and throw in some added cash for pros, maybe a second course? I guess I'm just wondering, should we try to build this, make this a bigger event, or just keep it at the C tier level and work with 90 and, start the year off with a good small event? So that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
What do you think?
it's a good question. It's kind of like, when do you think your event is ready to move up to that next level?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're there or pretty close to being there when you have, you're filling at 90 players. And honestly, when you fill in at that many, when it's that, popular of an event, it's really not that hard to raise that extra, few dollars, whatever it is, for the requirements for a B tier. So
right.
I would say go for it. I mean, it's definitely not as big of a step going from a C tier to a B tier as it is going from the B tier to the A tier.
Yep, that's correct.
I would go for it.
Agreed. Yeah, jump in with both feet.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to take a super quick break. You might not even realize the break we took, but I'm going to have Jeremy listen to that question. He just walked into the studio. He's going to listen to the question. When we come back, we're going to hear his answer to John's question that we had at the beginning of the show.
Wow, great question. I wish that I could say that I would have read that book, but yeah, that's a pretty deep question, I guess you could say, that probably requires a little bit more thought than what I've got right now. But I did find that interesting that Phil sold Adidas before starting Nike. Is that what I heard correctly? I'm definitely going to have to read that book. I think Clay has that book. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he does.
Anyway, I think one of the biggest challenges that we continue to face today is just keeping up with the growth. One, the growth of the sport in itself, and two, our growth as a company. I never believed that it took money to make money, and it doesn't necessarily take money to make money, but it takes more money to keep growing at the pace that we are growing as a company. And one that's on just a pure financial front in terms of keeping the inventory and the products and growing the product base that we have. Two, in terms of an infrastructure, staffing, warehouse space, office space. Those are things that we just constantly struggle with, not having enough office space for new hires, new additions that we need to have as a company. In terms of the warehouse space, we thought when we bought this building and we moved into a portion of it in November of 2013, we thought it was going to be more space than we needed for a long time. It was about a year later, we were we got to buy the entire building, which went from 10,000 to 20,000 square feet and more offices. And we thought that was going to be more than we needed. And then today, we have 10 40-foot containers outside of our warehouse. We've been fortunate to rent some space across the street at one of our neighboring businesses. And we are working on expansion plans for the warehouse and for office space. But those things cost a lot of money, and we got to make sure that we're very calculated and very smart with those decisions. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we face. And just having the right people in the right places, I think, is one of the most important things for a company. as a company continues to grow. And we have been very fortunate to have an amazing staff, an amazing team, and we expect nothing other than that to continue for the long haul at Dynamic Discs, and look forward to many, many, many great years of growth for us as a company and for the sport in itself. And I think I'll think longer and harder about an even more in-depth response, but hopefully that's a little bit of insight and info for right now.
Excellent. Nice job, Jeremy. Thank you for stopping by. I know we just sprung that question on you, but I know you have some good insights into DD's history. All right, so let's move on to the next question. This one's from Bobby.
Hey.
If you want to ask us, Bobby? You can email us and we'll just answer your question if you want.
Or you can just ask us now.
Nah, email only.
Hey guys, this is Bobby from PA. First off, I want to say thank you, Bobby, for DeGam Jams on Spotify. It really gets me through my workday, and at this point, I just don't know what I would do without it. Secondly,
real quick, what you talking about? The Gam Jams?
The Gam Jam.
The Gam Jams. Oh,
wait.
Sorry.
Now we definitely have to change the
rated R episode we got going here.
Anyway, so on Spotify, if you enjoy watching our videos on YouTube, or sometimes when I splash music into these episodes, if you enjoy that genre of music, I have a playlist called The Gam Jam, or DGAM Jam, where it has right now it's sitting about an hour and a half worth of that music. So if you're putting and you like that kind of music, if you're at work and you like that kind of music, follow that playlist, because I'm going to keep building and putting music on there. So anyway, that's what Bobby was talking about. Let's see what else he had to say.
Being a huge fan of The Office myself, I wanted to get your opinion on something. Is there a sadder scene in the entirety of the show than Kevin doing a voiceover work of his fantastic, amazing chili, only to then watch him spill it all over the office floor?
One of my favorite opening scenes.
I watched that episode, and it just broke my heart all over again. So looking forward to your opinion on that. Man. And lastly, with all the talk of sponsorships that just continues to grow year after year, I wanted to find out from y'all, if you were to be sponsored by any product or anything out there, what product or whatever would you like to be sponsored by? And do you have your quick catchphrase or spiel that you would throw out there for your commercial spot? Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Nice. Thank you all so much for what you do. Take care.
Awesome.
So the first part of his question, yes, that is a super sad yet cracks me up scene. When he spills all that chili.
He said, it's probably the thing I do best.
That instantly.
It also reminds me of Casino Night when he said that he won all kinds of different places.
He just says, I suck.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more sad scene. I laugh out loud every time I see that scene.
I cringe a little.
Yeah.
It's cringeworthy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's less cringeworthy than some of Michael's stuff,
yes,
but definitely you're just like, this is the worst, but also it's hilarious.
And then was it last night I watched the episode where Roy finds out that Jim and Pam kissed, and he comes back in to confront Jim.
Yes.
And Dwight has the pepper spray, and it's the intro. So at the beginning, then you see Dwight talking to the camera, and he's like,
blinking
his eyes because he's got mace in his eyes.
I like that one pretty well too.
Hilarious. For 8 years, I've been bringing in mace, and I've been ridiculed for having it. Whatever. So, anyway,
I can't think of a sadder scene. I mean, like truly sad. You know, when Michael leaves and he's leaving a day early, and Jim goes in and says, if this were your last day, I would be telling you how great of a boss you were, best boss ever, stuff like that. Because it's sentimental,
right?
But I don't know. It's probably not sad like the one that he's talking about.
So on to this next part. If you were to ever be sponsored by a company, what company would that be?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, options are not limited kind of thing. It's just like sky's the limit.
Yeah. I mean,
you should pick a jet company, because then they just give you jets.
That'd be awesome. What am I going to do with a jet? Not like I could fly it.
Sell several of them, then you're the richest person there ever was.
Hey, that's not bad.
I'm not good at math, but I think that's right.
Not bad. That is not bad.
That's too open-ended of a question, I guess.
Since we talked about Phil Knight, Nike would be a fantastic sponsorship to have.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because, all the apparel and shoes, shoes. remember this. I do love the shoes, and
I couldn't wear them for golf though.
I could probably find some to wear for golf.
I mean, I could if they're free, obviously. I mean,
if they were just saying
tear through them. But,
exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
I could wear the apparel all day.
Yes, and if they said, "Hey, we just need an elevator speech from you," I would say, "Listen here, Phil. I am on a podcast weekly, and we have some people watch it. So you need some more publicity. I'm here to offer it. I'm pretty mediocre at disc golf, so sponsor me."
I don't think
seems like he'd go for it.
I don't think he was asking for that. I thought he was asking for what's your catchphrase.
Your elevator pitch.
I'm sponsored by Nike. What's your just do it? Is there a catchphrase? So what would yours?
Well, now I feel
I'm pretty sure that's what he's asking.
Now I feel like I've painted myself into a corner because I gave my best pitch.
You gave it away. Now everybody's
now if I ever go for another sponsor, everyone will know exactly what to say to get sponsored.
Isn't that what he said to Nike?
That's how many people are going to come up to you at the memorial and say that?
I promise that will happen. I'll go back to my desk and look at the website submissions, and that'll be
awesome.
There. What would my catchphrase be? I don't know. I've always enjoyed bangerang, Peter. When somebody makes a nice putt or something like that, bangerang, Peter. But it doesn't have as much Nike on it.
No.
But think about this for a second. What if they took some of the old Peter Pan, old kind of footage, put Nike swooshes on people, and then it was bangerang Peter at the end? Come on.
Okay.
I suppose.
Mine, of course, would
creativity.
Mine, of course, would be keep it real.
Yeah.
I don't know who would I do that with, like a law firm or something?
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah. I've also found I say 100% a lot. So yeah, maybe that could be it too.
What percentage of the time do you say it?
Well, it's like 60% of the time.
Okay,
it works.
Sense. Yeah.
Every time.
Have you figured one out?
No. I mean, how could you not go with like a Nike or...
Would yours be like Irish Spring soap or anything?
Irish Spring soap?
Sure. No, because I'm Irish?
Yeah.
I mean,
are you trying to tell me it smells right now or what?
Yeah. Which part is it? Because I stink or because I'm Irish?
Like Lucky Charms or
Lucky Charms? Because I have a beard?
Yeah.
Are you calling me a leprechaun?
No. I guess I'm going a roundabout way because whenever I say call him a ginger.
Hey, that's racist, Bobby.
Exactly. That's why I said it. That's why I said it.
That's hateful.
It really is. It really is.
Why don't you just let him live his life?
Just let me live.
All right. So let's move on from this and get to JT's question.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Men? My name is JT from the great state of Texas. And before I get to my question, I just want to say thank you. This podcast is an incredible tool that's helped my game, and I know it's helped many other people's games. I think more people should utilize it because it's helping to grow the sport of disc golf and helping to grow a disc golf culture in this country. So thank you guys for getting up and doing this every week. I really, really appreciate it. So my question is this. On the coverage that I see of disc golf, Joe Mez, Central Coast, the Disc Golf Guy, all those guys, I don't get to see a lot of personality on camera. I know that that's maybe not something that a lot of people are interested in, but I am. I love seeing guys like Eric Oakley coming up and photobombing people and having silly things to say on camera and stuff like that. So I was wondering if you guys could just open up on some personal stories that you have about some of your favorite people to play with. Is there anybody that is a particular comedian? Is there anybody that's fun to hang out after the tournaments with? Any story that you have about maybe some of your best friends you have around the disc golf community, and some people that maybe we don't get to see a lot of personality of on camera but have a huge personality. Anyways, thank you guys once again for taking my question. I look forward to hearing the answer, and keep hucking them discs.
Thanks, JT.
That's actually something I wish we could add more to our videos.
It's hard though. I mean, you can't just tell the players, hey,
be funny,
or be, don't be yourself today, or, come out of your shell a little bit while I'm filming you. But if you happen to watch the winter warm up,
right,
Eric Oakley is in that video and he comes out of his shell quite a bit.
But I'd like to have little breakaway stories.
Quite a bit.
Nobody has to coerce him to do it.
No, not at all.
30-second, 45-second, minute long breakaways into backstories of people. But it's so hard because, for one, you don't know who's going to be on the lead card until the lead card's there.
Right.
And you can't go out and do 12 backstory videos and then only use the 4 that are on the lead or 5 that are on the lead card. And I think that's the case probably for big events like the Memorial and stuff like that. There's just too much manpower.
Well, anymore they turn the footage out so fast.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's almost Central Coast is next day.
Right.
For the most part.
And people are used to that coverage being, that's what it is, 30 to 45 minutes, more along the lines of 35, 37 minutes of just footage, because that's all I want to watch. I want to watch the footage. So it would be kind of hard to kind of put those in somewhere without whatever. So as far as like what his question about, knowing, I don't know any specific stories, but I mean, yeah, Eric Oakley is like that in real life. He's cool to hang around with, very positive. I've always liked back in the day when I would do tournament coverage and I would hang out, I'd always hang out with Eric or whoever's at Giggler's, fun guy to hang out with. Giggler. Miles is fun to hang out with. As far as like the top touring pros that a lot of people know, Paige Pierce is fun to I mean, she's competitive. Like if you're playing
in anything.
Yeah, foosball, spike ball, whatever.
Ping pong, name it.
She's in it to win it.
Yeah.
And but it's fun to hang out with those people.
Yeah. That's the same with Ricky too. Ricky is
very competitive.
Well, and he's a goofball off the course too. Yeah. Like if you are just, hanging out with a group and you're not playing disc golf, man, it's great. Like he's
like night and day.
He can cut up. Yeah. And it's really funny. Yeah. It's super fun to hang out with him off the course. Then on the course, it's just like he's laser focused.
I guess one story I would have is that I remember I made a video while we were at Bowling Green. I made a video with the clickbait title. It said "World Champ sets new world record."
Oh yeah, it was a basketball thing,
and it was a basketball hoop. It was actually kind of fun watching him try to achieve that. That was kind of cool, non-disc golf type stuff. Hanging out with Ricky, watching him trying to break the record at that store. What was it? It was to win money or to win charity or something like that. Anyway, it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah. I'll tell you who is fun to play with on the course and fun to hang out with off the course. This person is on our team. His name is Zach Milton, and he's a jokester all the time. And I feel like the rounds that we've played together, I've always enjoyed those because we just kind of keep it light and have a good time. And then
casual
off the
rounds.
course.
Casual rounds are like that. But like when you're in competitive mode and you're on his card, he's very supportive.
Right.
He's a very
positive. Yeah.
Off the course, it's a lot of fun too. Like in
You're just always dogging
Tennessee
on you,
at the mall when we were racing those little animals around the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite type of person to play disc golf with, is somebody who on the course, like even if the round's not going well, we're supporting each other, kind of keeping it positive, and then off the course you can just hang out, have a good time.
I will admit though, because we have a Facebook Messenger group for the memorial, and when I saw you and Zach start making exchanges, I started saying, "Hey guys, can you like talk business, and then when you start having fun, maybe make your own little Facebook group."
I got to be honest. I thought the same thing because of the whole. Which one was that where he kept adding people and deleting people? And,
that was like one of the other trips. I can't remember. Yeah, I was like,
if you are in a group message with him, I will agree. He needs to clean it up on there for sure. And I started to. This is the problem. I started that by saying, "Hey, this is a place where we can share pertinent information for everybody." And then Zach just immediately derailed it. So you have to be. I
laugh, and then probably the fourth or fifth time, it's like, come on.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
chill.
tired of looking at my camera,
or you're tired of
my camera, my
ding.
phone. Yeah, a little ding. Ding. I think even one time I told Paige Pierce I was going to make one. She said, "Hey, can you just tell me separately and don't put me in a group?"
Yeah, she hates them.
Yeah, she doesn't like
for
those.
Sure.
So. Anyway, so one of the things that Eric likes to do.
I do.
He likes to design courses.
I do.
As if it's his job.
So
I rather enjoy it.
If you want to watch a little bit, of course, this is completely different. But him and Doug, we went out to the Arrowhead Stadium to go. I filmed them while they were setting up and going through all the stuff. And, I asked them, is this a little bit different than, of course, setting it out? I mean, and it's obviously it's different, but still there's something different in setting up a course within a football stadium. But they got it done. They got it. I'm assuming you guys got it done, right?
Yeah, we did. Okay. We did. It's done, and it's completely different. But along the same lines, it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have a starting point, you got to have a finishing point, and you got to have flow.
Yeah.
So it's in a way kind of very similar. It's a lot easier because you're kind of restricted on what you can do and where you can go. So it makes it a little bit easier at Arrowhead, but boy, that's going to to be a great time.
Oh,
I just hope it's warmer than it was when we were there.
Yeah, it was. My fingers hurt.
Oh, it was,
and especially in the because
my fingers.
Dude, yes,
because we were in the corridors.
Happy Gilmore.
There's in the corridors. Wasn't closed off, and then there was no sun coming in.
Yeah.
So it was just even
extra
colder.
cold.
Yeah,
extra
more cold, even colder in there. But anyway, so he designed the course for the Arrowhead Stadium. That's at about 464 last time I look. People signing up.
That's crazy.
So if you want to get in, if you're in the area, you better hurry up because we're going to run out of room very fast. But it's going to be an amazing time. But moving over into doing course design on actual
pieces of land.
Eric is going to be out tomorrow and Thursday out in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Talk about what's going on over there.
Yes. Well, a lot of people know the Hollows is in New Hampshire. It's a course I designed a couple years ago. And last year they brought me out to design 9 more holes out at the Hollows because they just wanted to kind of make it a 27-hole loop, or, you can play 27 or you can play the original 18 or you can kind of bounce around. And I got there and I started walking the property and I'm like, there's a lot of land out here. There's enough to put 18 more holes out here. What do you guys think? And they're all for it. Let's do this. Let's put 18 in instead of just 9. So I went out and I spent a few more days out there and ended up putting in 18 holes. And I was there when the tree eater came through. I don't know if you guys remember. I'd posted some Snapchats and Instagram stories and videos of that. And so it's for the most part done. There's a handful of baskets in the ground. Tee pads are already poured, and I'm just going out there to walk with it and make sure that the couple holes that are still left to have work done on, that they're moving in the right direction, and they just want to make sure it's done right, which is great. And I'm really stoked to get out there, mainly because it's going to be 70 degrees, which is unbelievable. To be 70 degrees in New Hampshire this time of year when I look outside here and there's
it's
a blanket of ice everywhere.
24?
So I'm excited to get out there, and it's going to be a quick trip, obviously. I'm leaving tonight. I'm going to go stay in Kansas City tonight and then wake up bright and early and fly out and then turn around and fly back Thursday and pack and
then RV up.
And then RV to the memorial. So
nice.
It's going to be a great time.
Well, my watch actually says 25, Robert. So you want to come over here. It's a little warmer.
It is a little warmer.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little warm over here. So
you direct the heater toward yourself over there. That's a good call.
Excellent. So now I'm sorry if you said this, but I was looking at other questions. Did you say when this new course was going to be ready to go?
They are hoping to have a spring. Well, they're going to have a spring opening for this course. We're not sure on the ribbon cutting. There's a chance that we're just going to do the ribbon cutting alongside the New England Amateur Championships, which is kind of it's May, like second week of May, I believe, third week of May. So I'll be heading out that way for that, and actually that'll be a very busy time for me because I'll be at GPO in April, and then the week after that's the Tim Selinsky's, and then I'm shooting over to Maine.
The weekend after, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Then I'm going to Maine to design a course. And then after Maine, I'll be coming back through and hit up the Hollows for the New England Amateur Championship. So it's going to be a busy April, May for me.
What else is there anything else going on? I was trying to think of that'd be kind of a cool disc golf adventure to go out there.
Absolutely. I mean, we got like the Masters,
Anthony was talking with us about a tournament around that same time too. So
oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, exciting stuff out there at the Hollows. Really cool to see that area build up even more because I know those people get every time we've been there, they've been super excited about us being out there. So it's really cool to have more stuff going out there. I'm sure they have a Facebook page if you're in that area.
They do.
So
they have the Hollows Disc Golf Course.
Okay, so they can kind of keep up what's going on. So we've said it over and over again. We're going to keep saying it because we think Eric is one of the best course designers out there. If you have a property that needs redesign, if you need some advice on what to do, if you need some help with picking out baskets or just starting from scratch from just having a bare land and putting some baskets out there, make sure you reach out to coursesales@dynamicdiscs.com and we'll see what we can work out for you. Let's get back to the questions. First, let's take a quick break just because I like putting some cool music in there.
Good.
Cool daddy music. All right, so we are back, and we're going to jump right back into the questions. We're going to go over to the Google Forms to see what we have. This one's from Echo.
Thanks, Doug.
Hello, Robert, Bobby, and Eric. Oh, you're going to like this guy.
Oh, yeah?
And yes, I listed Robert's name first because he's my favorite and doesn't get enough love.
Thanks, man.
Now, onto my question. I throw my defenders about 425 to 450 feet, but too frequently I tug my shots a little to the left. Do you think I should shorten my reach back a little bit to make a more compact throw to try to gain more accuracy, but possibly sacrificing distance? 90% of my bad shots are a slight grip lock to the left, and I can't seem to correct it. I'm a left-hand backhand, by the way.
That makes a little more sense.
Yes.
You grip.
About halfway through, I assumed he was a lefty, but
left.
Yeah.
That's just early release.
Okay, so you guys are obviously going to give much better advice, but just my quick take on it. When he says, do you think I should shorten my reach back a little to get more compact throw, to get more accuracy, but sacrificing distance? My immediately answer would be yes. You want to get well-placed shots, even if you sacrifice, to me, a little bit of distance. Now, go ahead and debunk me if I'm wrong.
No, I agree. I think accuracy is more important than distance.
Agreed.
Personally.
Okay, but
yeah, you can look at my golf game and definitely know that I think that too. Having a more compact throw is good. I think you don't want to eliminate a full reach back, but it doesn't have to be like reaching back so far that you lose kind of the sense of where you're at. And I think there is a way to overdo that, to reach back too far. But ideally, you just want everything on the same line. So you want to be reaching back on the same line. And then when the disc is ripping out, if it's ripping out a little late for you on the left side, it may be that you are that you're not reaching back with the disc on the line. Maybe you're bringing it a little bit inside or outside or something like that. So you may try repositioning your reach back to be a little bit more keeping the disc on the line instead of some side-to-side movement on the way in.
I would also slow it down.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially in the learning stages. A lot of times when you're grip locking, it's because you're coming through a little too fast.
Right.
So I would concentrate on just slowing everything down a little bit as well.
Yeah. Accuracy is definitely at a premium over distance. You can throw 450 all day if you want, but if you're not putting it in the right spot, that can either be not as good or super trouble, depending on what course you're playing.
Excellent. Next one is from Ole Andre.
Okay.
Ole Andre.
Okay.
Hey, Disc Golf Fans, man. I'm a listener from Norway who has a question about the XStep.
So it's probably not Andre.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, but Norway.
Let's play Bill.
It's just
would you say
totally different language.
What would be the Norwegian?
Well, I'm not looking at it, so I don't know.
It's Andre.
It's an Ole is
Andre.
before that?
OLE space
Ole.
ANDRE.
Oh, then maybe you're right.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm an amateur player who struggles when I implement the XStep. I can get my Renegade and Inertia.
That's an MVP disc or Axiom or something like that.
Similar numbers, but a bit more understable, around 250 to 300 feet when standing still. I didn't know anybody else made discs. Oh, no. When I implement the XStep, I usually grip lock it to the left. My question is, if I start using the XStep, will I get more distance? At the moment, the difference between a fairway driver and a distance driver are small. By the way, I love my new EMAC.
Yeah. Wait, you got a little bean?
Is it? Yeah, I was like, is he talking about an EMAC Truth or just got a little EMAC?
Little action figure?
Yeah.
A very small person just to carry with you on the course. So the reason that we do an XStep and the reason that we do a run up is to get into the same position that we do when we're standing still, right? But to do it so that we've got some momentum moving with it. So if integrating an XStep means that you're going to miss shots more, then I would stick with standstills for a while. And then once you're, especially in competition, if that's what you're used to right now. And then as you have time to practice, as you have time to get out in the field, start from taking that last step, kind of from where your XStep might be. If you're, he sounded like a lefty too, based on the question, but assuming that he is, where your right foot is on the ground and your left foot would be close to it, and then just one stepping into a shot, I think that's a really good way to start learning what it feels like to be at the end of an XStep and throw a drive properly.
And if you're a righty, just listen to that backwards.
Yeah, left foot on the ground and then stepping out with your right foot. If an XStep is going to hurt your game long term, probably not.
Yeah.
Once you get the timing of it, yes, it does give you greater distance potential because there's just more things in motion. And it's funny that he said inertia because that's kind of what's at play as well. But if it's going to mess with your accuracy and you're happy with how far you throw right now, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. I highly recommend trying to at least learn the XStep though.
Yes.
I think you should do the XX360X. Patent pending. That I performed on one of our Willett Heiser. I can't wait for better weather so we can get some new Willett Heisers out there.
Agreed.
All right, next question comes from Nicholas.
What's up, everybody? I have a question about amateurs wanting to take their game to the next level.
What happened, Nicholas? Hold on.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. My name is Ryan.
What's up, everybody?
Sorry about that.
I have a question about amateurs wanting to take their game to the next level. So when an amateur goes and plays a bunch of tournaments, they're obviously paying out of pocket, and that can be they could have an issue with their monetary status. But is it important to play more tournaments, or should they just play more bigger tournaments? So is it important for them to play a ton of tournaments, or should they really just focus on some big ones where they can get recognized? I'm kind of in that situation right now where I want to play a lot of tournaments, but it is very expensive. And yeah, so I think I'll play like 15 this year, and that's getting pretty expensive. So thanks for your answer, guys. Always awesome listening to you, and have a great day.
I think it could be really either. I mean, and when you think about it, both are expensive.
Yes.
Because if you're playing just a bunch of smaller B and C tiers, that can get expensive. But if you're just going to go and play a handful of A tiers, that also gets expensive. Kind of, whatever you want to think there. As far as getting noticed, I can speak for Dynamic Discs at least when it's not just about your game and how solid you are and how many tournaments you play and your finishes at those events. It's also, are you running events? Are you running leagues? Are you running Marksman League? Are you running match play events? All those type of things. If you're running those type of events and growing the sport in other ways, that's another way to kind of get really noticed. And I know you're kind of wanting to take your game to the next level. So if that's, more of your focus, then I would absolutely play a handful of bigger events because, naturally you're going to have better competition at these events. So the better players you play with, the quicker your game's going to get better.
Yeah, I'll agree with that for sure. And I think, and this, maybe you're not saying this at all. So if this is not what you're saying, hear it as that. But I think a common misconception about sponsorships is when you're sponsored that your entry fees are paid.
Correct.
And that's not the case all the time.
Not always.
There are some levels of sponsorship with Dynamic Discs with other companies where you do get a portion of your entries paid or all of them paid or something like that. But I'll tell you, at least for Dynamic Discs, that's not the majority of our sponsorships. The people who do get sponsored by our company, we are providing them with more products, bags, discs, apparel, things like that. And for you, if the goal is to get noticed and to get sponsored by a company, then I wouldn't want you to be misled and think if you do get noticed and you do get sponsored, then all of a sudden you don't have any monetary commitment left in disc golf. Because plain and simple, that's just not a spot where I think disc golf is at right now.
Correct.
Where they could just, I guess there are companies possibly that could just drop all your entry fees just like that and not have an issue with it. But I don't think that's where we're at right now. So just wanted to clarify that if that's something that you were thinking.
Thanks, sir. Next question comes from Anthony.
So, dude.
Anthony had a question.
So
he asks, and when I say Anthony, we're talking about our boy Anthony.
Anthony.
What is the advantage to keeping a loose grip on the disc as late as possible?
Did you really ask that? Nice. Okay, so I started watching Wintertime Open. Is this what you're asking about? Okay. I started watching Wintertime Open.
This is the tournament covers that you guys did?
No. That's winter warm up.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Very close. Yes. No, the Wintertime Open is an A tier in California. I will not spoil who won if you still want to watch it, but it's worth watching for sure.
I will.
Oh, I was going to say no. Wait. No, don't. But Josh Anthon, if you watch him throw, he pulls the disc back, and I promise you can watch it in slow motion. He picks his thumb up all the way off the disc, all the way off. And then right as he's about to pull it through, he puts his thumb back on and throws. Mm-hmm. And what's the benefit of that? I have no clue. That terrifies me.
Maybe it's just a style thing.
Maybe it's just what he's used to.
It's just a comfort thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you've watched Nate Doss before. He doesn't do this quite as much as he used to, because his form is a little bit maybe not tighter, but he's kind of taken this out. He used to let the disc kind of swing off of his fingers before grabbing it in the flight. Like it was really, really loose.
Wow.
I think one of the benefits of keeping a loose grip until you're ready to throw is that it forces you, or allows you, I guess is probably the better way to put it, to be more relaxed. Ideally, you don't want to be tight from the second that you take your first step till your hit point. You really only want to tighten up when you're starting to pull through and accelerating. Before that, you want to be loose and relaxed and fluid instead of just really tight and robotic.
Mm-hmm. Well, so one time I was throwing, and Pete Casson was with me, and he watched my thumb, and he said, "Put your thumb more toward the middle." Mm-hmm. And I tried a couple times. It felt so weird. I didn't want to do it anymore. I mean, is that just because
because you're used to doing it a different way,
right? But do I need to stop? Do I need to move my thumb closer? I think he was trying to say so that I could have more of a grip on it and like really rip the disc.
Yeah, I think there is a too close to the rim, but it's different for different people. Yeah. Yeah. You know, if your thumb is touching the edge of the rim, yeah, there's probably an issue with that. But I've seen
my thumb on the bottom.
Oh wow. Like this,
like twisted around
underneath.
It's going to work well. Well, I've watched guys like, I think Double G does this. His thumb is almost all the way in the center of the disc, and it works for him. And so it's just kind of different strokes
for different folks.
No,
yes,
it's kind of like in whatever. I don't remember the movie now. He says, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not. The only one.
The only one.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about Different Strokes, this TV show.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. I was just intentionally not completing the phrase.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, gotcha. In your face.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about fantasy disc golfing. So one of the things I was looking forward to for the 2018 season is Johnny V getting skipace.com back up and running, and he did, so we can have some fun with some fantasy disc golf. Now, we've talked about it before on different past episodes, but when I look at the numbers of people signed up, I'm thinking we don't have enough people signed up. So if you're listening and you like to play fantasy football, or you like to place any kind of bets, or you just are really into the sport of disc golf like you're into other sports, please join the Disc Golf Answer Man group.
Or even if you're not.
You just want to have some fun. You want to have a chance to win some prizes from the Disc Golf Answer Man. Go join. Go to skipace.com. Go to join a league and use the code DGAM. And get yourself signed up, and then hurry up and get your picks in before. I think he does it usually the midnight before the
night before, right?
The
midnight before the first day of the event.
Yes, and so you have until when does Vegas? Is it a Friday or Saturday?
Thursday.
I thought it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So
Sunday.
By the time we have this out, you won't have but a couple days to put it out there. No, one day.
One day. You better do it right now.
Do it right now.
Stop what you're doing.
Yeah. This requires a sense of urgency.
Yeah, so get signed up. I've already given away a prize for our first 100 people signed up.
Now, if they are listening to this episode, say next week, they can still sign up.
Yeah, you will have just missed an event.
They can still get prizes, right?
Right. I mean, I'll do a prize for at the end,
the overall winner.
But now we may not do a prize every single event, but I am going to try to do a little bit more than we did last year because I think it's just kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure to get our picks in and stuff like that. So we're not going to talk before. In the past, we've talked about who we're going to pick before the event, but we're actually just going to, me, Robert, and Eric will make our picks, and then we'll talk about the results after the event's over, and we'll do that more in our more air quote surveys and poll episodes where we'll talk about stuff like that. So cool.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, go sign up. And it's easier to do now than it was before. You can link it to Facebook or Google Plus or
Tweeter. So get yourself signed up. And there's other leagues if you want to join. I know Johnny V has a Survivor League out there, and he has the Skip Ace League. And then there's one that's actually you pay in to get in.
Yeah, $20.
What's that? Isn't that gambling?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Never heard of that.
I don't think it's gambling. I think it's...
I mean, you're just paying the smart people to win.
Right. So anyway, go join. It's going to be a good time.
I did that one last year.
The $20 league?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Where'd you finish?
I finished like 6th.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
How many spots get paid?
Not 6.
I was 5. It's
just less than 6.
Yes. No, I don't remember if it was 6th or not, but I know I think I was in the top 10. I was pretty far up there.
Nice. Another exciting thing we have coming up, if you know of the different monthly subscription services that are out there, not just disc golf, but like in other places, like there's a monthly watch.
Seriously?
A watch.
Get a new watch every month?
Yes. What do they call it? Watch Club of the Month. Yeah, Club of the Month. No, month of the. What is the term?
Fruit
for
of the
it?
Month Club.
What is the term for it?
I don't know, but I don't think it's Club of the Month.
Is it Watch of the Month?
Maybe it's just a watch club.
Watch of the Month could be it.
Maybe it's just Watch of the Month.
Watch Club.
Anyway, I saw the commercial for it the other day, and you get a new watch every month in the mail.
Ridiculous.
Isn't that weird?
That's kind of dumb, actually.
That's a little dumb. A lot of watches.
But imagine if they did. I'm sure somebody does it for shoes. I'd be interested.
Oh, I'm sure there's a shoe. Of course, there's wine,
jelly.
There's bread, pies, fruit.
Pie of the month?
Yeah.
How could you ensure its freshness?
Oh, I mean, food delivery services are a big thing now through the mail.
Yeah, but I don't trust it.
Everything's going to come through the mail in the future.
I don't trust it. Yeah, Shay and I actually talked about that some today. Anyway.
About what?
Just that more and more stuff is going to be decentralized from retail stores to online. And so you don't have to leave your house to go grocery shopping.
One of my chores this weekend was to tear down all the boxes we've gotten from Chewy.com, which is for dogs.
And it's not HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. No,
is that what yours is?
No. Freshly and Home Chef.
Yeah.
So food delivery, and I filled up our recyclable thing just full of cardboard boxes from ordering, and then Amazon, of course, ordering stuff from Amazon. Right. Anyway, back to my original. We're going to have a monthly subscription plan with Hand Eye Supply.
Nice.
If you guys if you've ever seen the Hand Eye, where it's just the big hand with the eye in the middle, that's the logo. A lot of people like that, but we're going to have a Hand Eye monthly subscription. More information will be coming out as far as pricing and what all is going to be involved, what merchandise you get and stuff like that. That's all in the works, but we are getting to the final stages. So I wanted you guys to be made aware of that so you can get ready to sign up for that. Cool?
Be aware.
Now, back to the questions. This one's from Rock, not The Rock, just Rock.
Be cool, though, if it was.
Yes, it would.
Maybe it is.
Did you see the Instagram photo he put of him and his cousin is his stunt double?
Mm-mm.
And they look similar, but they're both like
massive. Yeah,
they're both big guys. But it was just kind of cool to see his stunt double.
Is this Rock from Australia? Hopefully,
ROKK.
Let's see.
We'll see.
G'day, disc golf fans and crew. This is Rock from Australia, touching base once again. Just a little question. Hypothetically, if you had to start your bag from scratch, maybe going to a new company or just hypothetically, what would be the basic structure of your bag? How many fairways, how many mids, how many putters, how many distance drivers would you have? What kind of slots are you trying to fill? Looking forward to hearing the feedback from Eric and the Breeze and also Mr. McCall. Hope to hear from you guys soon. Catch ya. Good boy.
That guy's awesome.
That's interesting because this past weekend I actually cleaned up my garage and I cleaned up my bag and took a look at what I wanted to start out with in 2018. I had a lot of drivers. Is that bad to have a lot of drivers?
Yeah.
I have a lot in my bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of different molds.
You have a lot of like
simplicity is easier for me.
Yeah.
A lot of mids. A lot of the same mid.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Couple.
Yeah, I guess if I had to start from scratch, then the goal is just to cover each stability in each speed range, right? So I like, and as much as possible, I like to minimize molds. But if there's a disc that flies well for me, I won't try and beat up another disc to fly like that if I can just get that disc pretty easily.
I'd agree with that.
Sure.
With the exception of maybe understable.
Yeah.
I would much rather have a stable disc that I beat into an understable.
I'll agree with that for sure. 100%. But yeah, I mean, if I was just starting from scratch, I would just make sure that I had something like moderately to pretty understable, something pretty neutral or straight, and then something pretty overstable in each speed. So for me, that's, putters, mids, fairways, high speed. I carry more high speed drivers just because I think since they go so much farther, it's easier to have some variance in their flight. Yes, you can make them do more things because they have more room to fly, but I don't like having to choose, man, I really need to hit this angle and this height with this disc to make it do exactly what I want, when it might be easier for me to maintain a consistent release angle and have the disc do what I want it to do.
Right.
But yeah, I think if I were to start over with a new company, I feel like probably 20 discs would be a good place to start, and it'd probably just kind of grow from there as I worked some in and got some favorites.
20,
and things like that.
20 different molds?
No. Definitely not 20 different molds. It'd probably be, 6 or 7, maybe 8 molds.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And then just multiples.
Yeah. And for me, I wouldn't have as many high-speed drivers probably. I like to keep it more neutral. Flying, especially when I'm learning a disc or playing a tournament where I have to be in control of where my discs are going. Like if there's a lot of OB or anything like that, I'd much rather have just a bag of neutral flyers that I'm going to go straight with. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep it in bounds. I'm not going to worry about getting big flares and all that. So, but I am more of a neutral to overstable flyer disc carrier, I guess you would say.
Yep.
So
excellent. Next one comes from Harry.
Hey guys. First of all, I want to thank Robert for helping me set a goal for the 2018 season. Usually at this point of the season, I have it all planned out, all set. But this year I was really struggling with it. And I just ended up setting a simple goal of beating Robert to 1,000. It's aiming a little bit lower than I usually do, but set your bar a little bit lower, get the feeling of succeeding.
Whatever.
I think it's a win-win situation. Anyway, all kidding aside, yesterday I signed up for the tournament I always look forward to every year. Basically, it's played on a castle ruin. You're playing on the ramparts. It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of elevation, obviously, on the castle area. So, and this tournament also, it fills up literally in 2 seconds. If you sign up 15 seconds past the hour, you're way too late. You're 200th in the line. No chance. So I'm just wondering, what's the coolest place you guys have played, like a pop-up track and all that kind of thing? And how common is it for you guys that the tournament fills up this fast? I think it's the only one here in Finland right now that does it every year. Like you really need to be ready and have it all set up. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. All right. Have a good one, guys, and look forward to your responses.
Thought he sounded Finnish or Swedish.
I know that there's a tournament in Canada as well that's hosted at a place with a castle.
Nice,
kind of cool,
sweet. So you've toured around more?
A couple times.
What's the coolest place you've gotten to play disc golf?
One of them's got to be inside AT&T Stadium, right?
Come on, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. But other than that, Amsterdam was pretty cool.
Yeah,
getting to play out there. Still, AT&T Stadium inside that was pretty cool. I just keep going back to it.
Yeah. My favorite place that I've played that was not an indoor setting. There's a course in New Mexico. It was where I was kind of learning to play disc golf when I was working at this camp, and one of the weeks of the camp was up there in New Mexico. And it's just a lot of up and down hills and mountain golf, and it's one of the most fun places that I've ever played It's called Sipapoo or Sipapoo or whichever you want to call it. Actually, one of the guys got on and gave us a review or something or commented and corrected me on it. And I don't remember what he said now. So I'm sorry if you're listening again. But yeah, ski slopes. Huh? It's SIPAPU.
I just want to say Carl.
Yeah, it's pronounced the Carl ski slope. But yeah, I like places like that aren't just a run-of-the-mill park or private land that's just tons of elevation. That was really fun for me. Bobby?
I guess because it's traveling to Sweden. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm. I would assume that would have been awesome.
Yarva.
Yep.
Carl. No, that was, that's just an amazing trip to go overseas.
What about Skellefteå?
Skellefteå was, yes.
Playing there at the 81 hole challenge.
I guess that whole experience, just being on the other side of the world was just really cool. To be able to do that. And then we're going to do that again going to Finland this year. So I don't know. That's just exciting to me.
Nice.
I just like the whole idea of it. What was I going to... Let's just go to the next question. Oh, no, that's right. I know there's something I want. So, Harry, thank you for the question. So I'm not trying to pick on you, but when you guys send in questions, when you do speak pipe, we love that you do it. Just try to talk as close to the microphone as you can so we don't get a lot of that air. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that you were...
Speakerphone, maybe?
Yeah, that you maybe had it on speakerphone and maybe you were holding the phone or your computer too far away. And that's why it caused a lot of that air. So if you can get the microphone close to your mouth, that would be wonderful. Next one is from Todd.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew and any special guests. This is Todd from Tennessee, and I switched my bag to all Trilogy last night and heading out to play a tournament now.
Yeah, boy.
Now, I know you guys encourage people to throw what they're comfortable with, and it makes me comfortable to support companies that do so much for the disc golf community and have supported me directly. Like Danny Lindell gave me a form critique about a year ago that I still refer to when I feel like I hit a wall. You guys answer my questions on the podcast. It's really hard to not want to throw your discs. I did have a mixed bag. So there's a couple discs in the bag that I'm super comfortable with, like the Longbowman, Boatman, EMAC Truth, and I've been throwing a Witness 2 here recently. But I'm afraid that I might have made a mistake with one of the purchases, and that leads me to my question. Do you have to be the best putter in the world to use daggers? All right, so I'll pop back on and let you guys know how it went after the round. Thanks for all you do. Keep it real.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for buying our product. I know a lot of people get chastised for only buying one from one brand.
Technically, he's doing 3 brands.
This is true. But a lot of people still even pick on that. But something that I want to share from my heart.
The deepest depths.
Is that I want to keep it real.
All right, let's do it.
No, if you enjoy the stuff that we do work hard, we all work hard. And I'm not saying that other companies work hard, but if for some reason you connect with what we do, you enjoy what we do, and you say, hey, I want to show my support by purchasing only their products for my bag, I want to say thank you. And I appreciate that. And just thank you. So back to this question.
Do you have to be the best putter in the world?
Yes, that's only,
let's see.
To use daggers.
Yeah. And the answer is no, you don't. But on the flip side of that, if the dagger doesn't work for you, try something else. Like that's, we say this about watching pros in the bags. If you go and watch Ricky's in the bag, there are probably several discs in there that at your skill level, and I'm not saying you in particular, Todd, but just anybody who's watching it, they just may not work for you. So just because Ricky putts daggers doesn't mean that the dagger is the best putter in the world. I know that Ricky likes it and it works well for his putting motion, but if that's something that doesn't fit well with you, try something different.
Yeah. On that same note, though, watching pros in the bag, the putter is probably the one disc that you can watch them and say, I want to use that putter.
Yeah, or at least to try it out.
As opposed to drivers and like overstable stuff.
Right.
So
I will say in particular about the dagger, though, if you haven't watched Ricky play in person, you don't understand just how fast he putts. He putts, his arm looks like a pitch putt, kind of a push putt motion, and it comes out really, really fast and with a whole lot of spin. So they likely hold a little bit straighter than they'll hold for most people when he putts them.
Yep, I agree with that.
Turns out he's pretty good.
Excellent.
Pretty good.
All right, well, we're going to wrap things up for this particular episode. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Before we go, let's take a look just at some real quick iTunes review. If you guys have an extra minute or two, make sure you please go out to iTunes. You can do it on the web. You can do it on the app if you have the iTunes podcast app on your phone. Leave us a review and let us know what you think of us, especially if it's a 5-star review.
5-star.
No, those really help out when people are out there searching for disc golf stuff. Our name will pop up there. This latest one says, so entertaining and so informative. Been listening to Disc Golf Answer Man. The Disc Golf Answer fam for about 6 months, and I can't say enough good things about this show. They make me laugh, and I learn more and more about the game. Emac and Robert do a fantastic job of simplifying the game, and Bobby brings it all together. If you love the sport, listen to this podcast, and you will not be disappointed. Maybe you can be the one to come up with a nickname for Robert that sticks.
Best of luck to you.
That's good.
Many have tried, so many have failed.
Thank you, Felix109 for that awesome review. Yeah, and like I said, if you guys have a minute, go out to iTunes and review us. Make sure you check out everything going on at with Dynamic Disc on Instagram, Snapchat, and on YouTube and Twitter. We thank you guys so much. Keep the questions coming in. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.